Counselor Levy, can you hear us? Counselor Levy, can you hear us?
I thought you were doing virtual. No, we don't, this is my,
Counselor Levy, can you hear us? Counselor Levy, can you hear us? Counselor Levy? Counselor Levy, can you hear us? Counselor Levy, can you hear us?
Yes.
Excellent. Good evening. This is the Lawrence City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 14th. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2022 and in accordance with recently revised City Council Rule 2, this meeting will be hybrid, allowing participation both in person and in the City Council chamber and remotely to accommodate all potential participants with a health consideration that prevents them from participating in person. Anyone who needs remote access codes should reach out to the city clerk prior to the meeting at dleblanc@cityoflawrence.com at 978-620-3232 or 978-771-6993. This meeting may also be viewed through our digital platforms at the Lawrence City Council Facebook page and the Lawrence City Council YouTube page. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Levy.
Present.
Counselor Dela Cruz.
Present.
Counselor Payano. Absent. Vice President Estela Reyes.
Present.
Counselor Rodriguez is absent. Counselor Del Rosario.
Present.
Counselor Selena Reyes is absent. Oh. Counselor Infante.
Present.
And President LaPlante.
Present. At this point, will you please join me in a moment of silence? Please rise. Council, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes from February the 20th. Is there a motion?
moved.
Motion made by the Vice President, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez is absent. Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano is absent. Counselor Dela Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes. Those minutes are approved. At this point, we have public participation. You have 2.5 minutes to provide comments to the City Council. The bell will ring at 2 minutes to give you a warning that you should wrap up your comments. Also, keep in mind that please don't address any individual City Councilors, but rather the City Council as a whole. First person up is Mr. Malley.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. Lawrence, one city under God. We support poor, oppressed people of the Ukraine. The world must unite to fight this brutal tyrant. In this critical post-pandemic era, we demand of you and Honorable Mayor De Peña contract for Lawrence Police now. Lawrence Police Department, with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Chief Roy Vass, has done an excellent job to protect our citizens. This great union of honor and service deserves the best contract. Every citizen saddened with the sad news of the state trooper death in a line of duty. We demand that you declare September 13 each year the day of the police appreciation. We demand the best contract for Lawrence Police. Million thanks to DPW workers and their union for their hard work. Our city faces an important emergency. Honorable Mayor DePena must fire JRM, the company in charge of removal trash, immediately. They do not pick up our trash in a scheduled days. They leave the trash behind. Honorable Mayor DePena must fire JRM now. We are so proud our public school with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Superintendent Cynthia Paris moving forward. We demand from Lawrence Alliance for Education the best contract for our teachers and equal pay for Lawrence Public School paraprofessional. In the great city, the birthplace of the revolution of the bread and roses, we stand united in support of the police union, senior police officers union, firefighters and DPW and teachers union. Remember your campaign's promise. If you be elected, we will have safe Lawrence, prosper Lawrence. In order to have a safe Lawrence, we must have a best contract for our police officers. Lawrence always is strong. Lawrence always unite. We pray for peace in Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Richard Russell.
Good evening, councilors. Name's Richard Russell, 34 Cross Street. I got to warn you, I have survived 3 corned beef and cabbage dinners in 10 days, so I'm in rare form. First of all, I want to thank the officials in the city that got the speed sign on Cross Street functional. Speeding has been curtailed, particularly with the taxi cab operators, but the highest speed observed by my roommate was somebody going up the hill at 47 miles an hour. Okay, I would like to see more transparency in City Hall events. Most councilors have enjoyed the use of private photos. It's hard to take these photos when we don't know about the events. And lastly, while perusing the city ordinances, I ran across ordinance items 10.28.030 and 10.28.070. Both of them refer to, the first one is right-hand turn on red lights at an intersection, and the second one is left-hand turn on traffic lights, red lights at intersections. City could make a fortune going after people ignoring those things. Just remember, ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Jackie Marmel.
Good evening, Councilor. Jackie Marmel, 2 Museum Square, Lawrence, Mass. The reason why I'm here tonight is this is regarding 2 Museum Square parking garage. As we all know, the city ordered that only Museum Square residents could only park in there until the entire parking garage is completed. However, we have the entire surrounding neighborhood parking inside, leaving people like me and handicapped people to park out in the streets. So my suggestion is that my city councilor or anyone who has the authority, could you please send in law enforcement to give violations and to take these people out? We do have parking permits, so that should be an issue. And we do have parking attendants, which is doing absolutely nothing about it. That is all.
Thank you very much. The names and addresses are being submitted to the city clerk to put in part of the public record. At this point, I wanted to just acknowledge a couple of dignitaries among us. We have GLTS members, Orla Disla, among us here this evening. Welcome to the school committee. God bless me. Welcome to the city council meeting this evening. I also want to acknowledge a true treasurer in the city of Lawrence, Isabel Melendez. Welcome, Ms. Melendez, for being here. We are happy and grateful that you're with us this evening. Thank you for joining us.
Councilor President.
Council Vice President.
Thank you. Through you. Councilor, can I take 2 items out of order?
Which items are you looking to take out of order, Council Vice President?
5822 and 6122, Semana Hispana and Fiesta Show.
58.
report on the back of the page.
Let's take them one at a time. There's a motion to take off document number 58?
Second motion.
58, what's the final part of that? 58?
20, and 61 is the second one.
No, 58, what year?
5822.
5822. Okay. A motion, I don't see that under tabled matters.
Out of the
It's on
table,
the
and it's
ordinance.
just to take it out of order.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
Second
apologies.
motion.
Motion's been made to take it out of order and has been properly seconded by Councilor Rodriguez. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano, absent. Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Counselor?
Thank you, Councilor President. Document 5822, Semana Hispana Festival Campanile Common on 6/12/22 through 6/17/22. It has been sent out with the favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion's been made by the Vice President, seconded by Councilor Rodriguez. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Question?
I don't see anybody having a question. Is there comments by anybody? Councilor Levy? No? Okay, go ahead.
So what, yeah, we sent it with a different date. What was the date?
Could
6/12?
could you please come forward and address the chair? So the question here is, hello, your name and address, please, for the record?
Marisa Melendez, 11 Court Street, Methuen, Mass.
Thank you.
And the concern we have is that the festival, the dates we were asking for is 6/12 to 6/19, which is a Sunday, and this has 6/17.
Okay, it's not the 17th, so
The
I don't
19th.
see it. Okay,
Okay,
so,
just to clarify.
So I don't have the document here quickly in front of me. So what did we get approved from all the various committees?
6/12 to 6/19, I don't know how the error didn't never be fixed, but they said it at the ordinance committee.
And so now the date has changed. The good news here is that there's plenty of time, I think. We've got plenty of time, so this is a good thing. If it's okay, why don't we get the proper sign-offs going forward on those new dates? I don't expect that's going to be a problem, and then we could vote on it at the next council unless we have those sign-offs through the entire time.
Councilor President, through you, I checked with the Recreation Department and they're good to go. So, but if you still need to be the sign-off, they can bring it back.
And just wondering if that was a typo, because you guys read 19 on the ordinance, right?
Yeah, we called the motion to change the day because when we received the agenda, I'm sorry, it was 6/12 through 6/17, so they corrected us at the ordinance committee. We sent the motion, and I don't know, yes.
So so is that true? Was a typo here in the record?
It came out of 17, it came out of ordinance with that. Yeah, but we changed it, but they fixed it.
Sure, and all the approvals match those dates.
Yeah.
Then there doesn't seem to be a problem then. Okay, so we should be good. If there's any more comments on this? Councilor De La Cruz.
Ms. Melendez, I have a suggestion. When the meeting, and that was to include the schools, to be part of the activities, because they are being messed up.
We're waiting for complete approval from the city council, so our next step will be the letters of invite that will be going out to,
And participation
okay.
on the Lawrence Public participation.
We'll strongly be visiting the schools, especially the schools in this area, but we are inviting all the schools. We will be. We're just waiting to have the confirmation that we can get approval.
Include the superintendent. as well.
Yes, yes, we will
Thank you.
contact her.
Any further discussion on this matter? And the carnival's going to be at the Showcase Cinemas? Is there a,
That's in May. Yeah.
so the motion's been made, it's been properly seconded. Any further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano is absent. Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
yes,
President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Counselor
you.
You're welcome, Counselor Vice President. You have another item?
6122 Fiesta Show Carnival Camping Common from 5/2 through 5/8. It has been sent out with favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion made, is there a second? Motion made and properly second. Discussion? Now, this right here, is this going to be at the, where's the carnival for this one going to be?
That was the one that you would just ask.
That's going to be
The
at
one that went in May, yeah?
At the showcase?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be at the showcase, and I was talking to the mayor earlier today, so I think there's going to be some changes for next year. I'll be supporting it this year, but please, I don't think there's any problems that I've heard with the actual carnival itself. The issues that have been arising in my district, on both sides of Winthrop Avenue, we're dealing with other individuals, whether it's speeding of cars, et cetera, loud music, not the carnival itself, but speeding people with their speakers and all that stuff, just blaring the music out. So we just need to be mindful. Anything you could help with that would be useful. Did you want to comment, ma'am? Come forward,
This is
please.
not gonna be in your district this year. This common.
Go ahead, ma'am, sorry.
Geminori Rosario, 209 Bailey Street, Lawrence, Mass. 01843. The carnival's not at the showcase, it's at
It's going to be at the Common?
Yes.
Okay, so, thank you for the clarification, so that's why I understand. So is there any further, so anyway, the Common's a different area as well, I'm not gonna go into that stuff, it's rightfully before this body. Any other speakers who wish to speak on this matter? Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President, if I could just clarify, was the second made by Counselor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thank you. Counselor Levy.
yes,
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano is absent. Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
No. Motion carries. Anything else off the table? Okay. Communications, so we have nothing on the matters pending a public hearing. We'll move through that. Communications from mayor, city officials, and city attorney, 23621, vetoed by the mayor. I'll need a motion to start off the discussion, unless you want a presentation, and then I could hear a motion. That would be in order. Do you have name and address, please, for the record?
Octavian Spanner, 200 Common Street. The council president, councilors, good evening. The mayor wishes to override item 236/21.
So therefore, I'll make a motion to override the veto.
Second.
Can be on order.
The motion to override the veto has been made by Councilor Rodriguez, seconded by the vice president. Discussion on this matter. Councilor Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Octavian, for being here. I spoke with the mayor in regard to this item, and we get into an agreement that we're going to be working on a similar one-hour parking for the entire Broadway Street, which is going to be, it's going to benefit everybody around. It's going to be an incentive for the economy on the area, since people are not going to be allowed to stay there for longer than 1 hour. Therefore, people are going to have to move in, move out, and do business as it's supposed to. At this time, the mayor agreed that overriding the veto for this item will be in order and will be fine for the future plan. And we agree that it will be beneficial for the area.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other comments on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, this is to override the veto. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano is absent. Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
yes,
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion to override carries. The next document is document number 6822, creation of a handicap parking ad hoc committee. That was put on the city council agenda by myself. In consultation with the mayor's office and knowing about our issues regarding parking, handicap parking in the city, it was agreed upon that we should take a more significant look at handicap parking in the city with respect, and there's a memo in your packet that kind of goes into a little more detail as to why. But a couple of things, you know, we have handicap parking that's constantly here coming before us. We have a limited number of parking spaces in the city. Oftentimes, people move out that need it, but then don't need it anymore because they moved out of the city, and there's been no real design to figure out, does that parking space still need it? So there's a variety of different things. So on the ad hoc committee, we'll have the police chief or his designee, the city attorney or her designee, the DPW director and his designee, representative from the mayor's office, and then up to 2 members of the city council. So I will be looking for at least 1 and up to 2 members of the city council who wish to serve on this ad hoc committee. It does have a sunset clause only because we want to get this thing moving. I want this thing strangling on for a couple of years. And I do expect that there will be meetings taking place during the day. If you're available during the day, that'd be great. If you're not available during the day, it's going to be much more difficult to be a part of this meeting. And it looks like I've asked the city attorney if she wouldn't mind chairing the meeting, and she is willing to do so. So,
Quick question.
Councilor Rodriguez.
At what time during the day the meetings are going to be taking place?
I don't know. It's really going to be it's going to be the normal course of the normal business day, so I'm not going to be on the committee, so it's up to the group to decide what time during the day they're going to have it. I don't know.
It's passing 2 o'clock, and then I'll take time off to be on those meetings.
Very good. Mr. Rodriguez is one of our more senior members, so he most definitely will get a slot. If there's anybody else who wishes to be a part of that, you can certainly get in touch with me after the meeting and let me know. But Councilor Rodriguez will be formally put on there, and we can put 1 more person on there. So let me know afterwards if there's an interest. Thank you. Next, appropriation orders and resolutions. I'm actually kind of excited about the first one. Document number 7022, this is a resolution regarding a poll worker compensation ordinance and fair compensation. I'm going to look to Councilor Anna Levy for the request. So go ahead with the request, Councilor.
Thank you, Council President. Yes, the item 7022 is a resolution regarding the pool workers. So considering that they are one of the part most important, you know, during the election time. So whereas the pool workers are critical to having well-run election, also whereas the pool workers very long day, and often, sometimes they spend more than 14 to 16 hours. So there are no compensation or anything regarding these people. So we are trying to do a resolution. Something wrong in there?
We have the clerk is here, and she's willing to, if you find this preferable, to actually read the request to maybe provide some assistance. Would you be willing to let her read the request on your behalf?
Yes, please.
So request made by Councilor Levy. You are requested by the City Council of the City of Lawrence, request that City Clerk Diane LeBlanc appear at the next scheduled meeting of the Ordinances and Intergovernmental Relations Committee to answer questions related to poll worker compensation. Again, submitted by Councilor at Large Anna Levy.
Very good. So that's the request, the official request going to the city clerk for that. And now we were also going to need a second for the order. So
I'll second it.
the order has been seconded by Councilor. So the request now can come before a vote. This is our first time doing it by the rules here, so bear with us. So we're going to have a vote on the request this evening, and it has been properly seconded by Councilor Rodriguez. At this point, if there's any questions, this is just requesting the clerk to attend the meeting. Councilor Rodriguez.
Through you, Mr. President, This is going to be a resolution or an ordinance or an order?
It's going to be, in a sense, and help me if I'm wrong here, it's going to be as an ordinance.
So, and I think that will depend on, quite honestly, what comes out of committee. Council Levy and myself have been working with the city attorney's office. The original thinking was both an ordinance and an order. They've stepped back from the need from an ordinance because there are no other part-time positions that have a compensation ordinance. So it could be accomplished. Again, it's up to the will of the ordinances committee, what they choose to vote out and what the council chooses to do, but they could accomplish what they need to with just voting an order.
So, I was talking to Councilor Levy about this, it's a history behind this, which is amazing back then in the 90s, when they were working together to getting people compensated, and the people to help out, bilingual people to help out on their, as a poll worker. And it's a lot more than this. The history behind it is great. And I appreciate Anna Levy sharing that with me because I was not around when that happened. And I was also talking to her about how we should discuss the compensation, and that way we don't go back and forth every time to determine how much money they're going to be getting. And yes, I throw an idea on her to see if that the councilors would like to adopt it. It is by perhaps adopting the minimum wage of Massachusetts plus a percentage on top of that. If the minimum wage changes, let's say it's going to be $15 soon, and then it's going to be $15 plus a percentage. If eventually on the road, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, it changed to 16, and then it will be 16 plus a percentage. So that way we don't have to go back and forth, changing the ordinance or the order about the salary. And this is just a thought, and that way we don't have to go do back and forth all the time. It is conceptual, and the concept is basically having a percentage of that on top of the minimum wage to determine compensation for the poll workers. So that's an idea. If you guys wanted to adopt it, we can definitely discuss it.
So just for clarification, and I appreciate the comments, a couple things. One is, we're going to be voting on the order. The order is requiring the city clerk to be present for the meetings. That's what's before us right now. After that, that order that we're talking about, that order is going to be going to the ordinance committee to have that kind of discussion and debate. So hopefully that we can continue that discussion at the committee level. So before us, just the order, requesting the clerk to attend. Motion has been made and it's been properly seconded. Clerk, please call the roll.
And for clarification, it's the only thing that is before us and being voted on is a simple request that can be done the night it's introduced. Council Levy. Council Levy. Yes. Council De La Cruz.
Yes.
Council Payano.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Council Rodriguez.
Yes.
Council Del Rosario.
Yes.
Council Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion to request and require the clerk to show up is adopted. This matter is going before or to the ordinance committee for further discussion and debate as to whether it'll be an order or an ordinance, and the committee can make that determination. One more thing as we go forward, this is probably a good time as any. We're trying to work toward follow our rules across the board. We're not going to get everything right. This has been a long time coming. We've had a recent an opportunity to have a little refresher course on it. We will be available to do some more of that if there's an interest. So one of the things that, just as a reminder on our decorum under Rule 7, is I'm just going to remind members right now, and this is something that's not been done in the past, but please refrain by calling any other members by their name. Please distinguish them by maybe perhaps their street, by perhaps their district, by perhaps previous speaker. Try to refrain from using another individual's counselor's name. Of course, everything should be going through the chair, whether it's to the audience, through the chair to the audience, or to each member. But that's, we're going to try to work through and follow our rules. So just a reminder on that. Thank you. The next document is document number 7122. I look to Councilor Payano.
Council President, so for
So document 7122 is a resolution recognizing Lawrence High School senior Giordani. How do you pronounce the last name?
so
Volquez?
Volquez.
Volquez, and we're going to send it to the committee. So
Would you like me to read the resolution?
we don't need to read that tonight because you're going to read it, I think, when it gets up to the full council. But it's a resolution for that gentleman.
Yeah, so Giordani's a high school senior, and he just broke, a few records. I think he's number 2 in New England, maybe either number 2, number 3 in the country. So just a recognition for him.
So that's going to go to the ordinance committee for the typical disposition. And I'm hopeful, Counselor, that you're going to be able to get him here for the full city council meeting. I look forward to meeting him. The next documents, let's keep that mic on, Counselor, because the Budget and Finance Committee is next. So document number 4522.
1 second, Council President. The Budget and Finance Committee met on February 23rd and voted favorably, unanimously, to send this to the full council with favorable recommendation. And this is the order to expend grant funds FY21, Justice Assistant Grant, up to $52,624.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Vice President. Discussion. Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Infante.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Payano.
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next
Council President?
Yes.
Council President, I would like to discharge item 6022, order to expend grant funds recycling dividends program of $35,000 from the Budget and Finance Committee.
There is a motion to discharge document number
Second.
6022 out of the Budget and Finance Committee. It has been properly seconded. Any discussions on this? This is the discharge. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Payano.
Yes.
Councilor Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
He wants to be absent on that.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion to discharge is made. At this point, I'm going to hand the gavel over to the Vice President. Because of a potential conflict or apparent conflict of interest, I am unable to vote on this matter. So, Council, you have the role, and please count me as absent or abstain for subsequent votes.
Thank you, Council President. So item 6022, we had somebody from DPW at the Budget and Finance Committee explain the grant. Essentially, the grant is $35,000 that is used primarily to form green teams with youth and different schools that partner with the city on that. We weren't able to move it through because we did not have quorum for this particular item. So I'd like to make a motion to, wow, I'm at a loss for words right here.
To approve.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Sorry, been a long day.
Properly second, roll call.
Councilor Infante.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario has recused himself. Councilor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counsel Payano,
Yes.
Counsel De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counsel Levy,
Yes.
and President LaPlante has recused himself. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Madam Vice President, I'd like to make a motion to take out of tabled matters item 2022, FY22 adjustment budget request.
Do you hear a second?
Second.
What's the document name again, Counselor?
2022. Counsel Levy,
Motion. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, just take it off the table. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counsel Levy, Counsel De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counsel Payano,
Yes.
Vice President Reyes,
Yes.
Counsel Rodriguez,
Yes.
Counsel Del Rosario,
Yes.
Counsel Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counsel Infante,
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries, and now it's off the table. Counselor?
Thank you, Council President. So I bring this item up. We've been discussing item 2022 for the past couple of months. There are several items that I think are very important, both for the administration, but in particular, there's some items here that I think are important for some of the work that we hope to be done across the city. In particular, there's going to be some work that's going to be done with Harvard that needs to start as soon as possible, and work to essentially bring together the community to discuss what's going on with our public schools and create a plan around that. So I think that we are coming toward the end of the third month of the year, and we still haven't moved on it, and I think people are looking for us, for the city to do some work on this and make this an initiative. To that end, I'd like to make an amendment to this item that I hope will help move this forward, and that is to remove Section 2, which deals with the salary costs, salary changes to the mayor aide's position.
There's a motion to
Second.
amend Section 2. Do you have, is it a total withdrawal? Are you looking to add language? What is your amendment?
So the amendment is to remove that entire section. So it would be removing,
Through you, Mr. President.
I'm going to let us finish, and I'll come to you in a second. Finish.
so it would be removing, I have to do the math for a second, 150, 65, 65. So it'd be removing two 75,000 positions and two 65,000 positions, which comes up to 280,000.
So you're working, just so we're all clear, you're working off what the city attorney sent down to us as the public hearing notice?
So I'm working out of the last memo that was, or the last document that was sent to us.
I will ask, this will be in order, of course, but for ease of what we're trying to accomplish, if you have that public hearing notice there, because that's the actual drafted ordinance that we're working off of, if you can work off of that the city attorney sent down to us, I believe the city attorney did.
I mean, I don't think that this is a change.
Then that certainly is in order then. So the request here then is to take that amount of money out of this request. Okay?
Correct.
You're going to reduce it by, say the number again?
So 280,000, which is removing the 275,000 positions and the 265,000 positions.
Since this is your original motion back
I
a few
second
weeks
the
ago,
motion.
it's already in order. You wish to have the floor, Counselor.
I just wanted to probably offer, to make it easy for the process, I think that if we split the item into two, which one deal with the salary and the other one deal with the rest of the budget, and then therefore perhaps just eliminate or vote against the salary and then vote in favor of the other one or whatever the council wish to. That will remove one segment and just the entire budget perhaps is clear with what it's accomplished. That's up to the council.
The sponsor, Mr. Piano.
Thank you, Council President. So I don't. Wants to move forward on making those changes, they can move that with some other motion.
So the motion has now been amended properly. Since the sponsor is the sponsor of the underlying amendment, he's now offering the amendment. This is now the entire motion. The motion is for the adoption of the transfer minus the $265,000. Correct? Are we all clear on what the motion currently is?
Can you add that this is the removal of
280,
the?
it's 280, it's 280.
Apologies, $280,000. We all clear? Councilor Rodriguez.
Councilor Payano, do you mind adding to the motion that this is in regard to the salary? The reduction is in regard to the salary, which add up to the amount?
Mr. Payano, it's your amendment.
So what I'm writing down
What I'm saying is not to just remove an amount of money, it's to remove an amount of money dealing with salaries.
So what I'm writing down is removing the 275,000 positions and the 265,000 positions for a total of $280,000. That is the change. Yep.
And has been seconded, I second.
Everything's been properly seconded. This is a new motion now with that new amendment language. Any other comments or questions on this before Councilor Dela Cruz?
Mr. Ianello is right here now. Can we ask you a question about this?
Mr. Ryanello, welcome. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Ianello. How will this money be used to have people helping us with the school system, or how will the money be used?
What you're talking about is the consulting services line item, and that's how I think Octavian can speak to that better than I can, but that's for the mayor to accomplish certain things using consultants. The rest of the items were basically just budgetary line items. The mayor doesn't have any office supplies, and so this is a transfer from free cash to the mayor's budget, so he can get some supplies and in this particular case, some consulting services. That's primarily the large items.
Thank you.
Very good. There's no other comments. I just so we are all aware, the mayor, in good faith, has sent down under new business some new ordinances that I think are very much in good faith in trying to work with the council and trying to do things fundamentally the right way. And I applaud the mayor's desire to go in that direction and for this amendment. So we will see that under new business later this evening. If there's no further discussion, Councilor Rodriguez, yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that we are clear about the $150,000 for the projects. Which are those projects? An explanation what you guys are trying to accomplish and how that's going to help the community in general.
Yes, well, first of all, as you know, that we, the Consulta Caris Community Investment The arrangements that we made with Harvard University, because at that time when the mayor was sworn in, there was an understanding that the professor that works at Harvard has his own company, and he would bring in the Kennedy School of Government. I think some of you have had conversations with the consultant, that the role of the consultant, in addition to the scope of service, which was to look at the housing market, to look at economic development incentive package for investors, to attract investors to the city, to look at small businesses, also included the supervision of the students, the graduate students that came from the Kennedy School of Government. They did a series of survey before the decision on the funding of ARPA to be transferred into cash, free cash. They also conducted a assessment together with other nonprofit organizations to gather as much information, what they were doing in the community, and where they thought that the funding, the ARPA funding, could be best used. In addition to that, they already are performing their work. So they started as of December, I believe in December they started, right, Mr.? In December, we contracted them to start their work. Out of the other funding is to also work with the small businesses to find out how, or finding ways that we can have our small businesses, especially contractors, be certified, have the necessary credentials to, especially DCAM certification, SBA 8A certification, to work on government projects, both state as well as federal. The primary purpose is to encourage those that are already proven themselves in the market, that are employing people, our local employees, to further expand their businesses in new markets. So those are some of the initiatives that we're trying to do. And if I may, we did consider, like the council president said, after hearing all of you and also having conversations on an individual basis, we thought it would be the best approach to separate the positions that we originally had as part of the agenda to be removed and dealt with on a separately. The other issues that we have is travel, supplies. I myself tonight, I didn't have anything to come here with the project. So so that's basically it. The projects that we have.
This is on the subcommittee? I know that it was mentioned that this is also going to be related to and a study related to the Inspection Service Department.
Yes, exactly. The Inspection Service Department. As you know that, we have an issue with a lot of businesses in the city that are not registered. We're trying to reorganize some of the departments, and part of the scope of service is to review and try to restructure the Department of the Office of Planning and Development. The way that we see it is since we're looking at more business expansion, more businesses that we are aware of, with the several meetings that we had with different corporations in the city, they are expanding. And our departments need to be, first of all, structured in such a way to provide a service, and also offer the level of professionalism that is expected from, to work with companies that are coming to our cities. Part of that is also inspectional services. We need to make sure, I know that several of you have complained, we hear it from the public, that we're not answering phones. Something just as simple. Customer service is part of one of the priorities of the mayor, and that's what we're trying to achieve, that we are efficient, effective, and we ensure better business practices.
I have another question. When it comes to the travel time, we have a $15,000 out-of-state travel expenditures, expenses. So $15,000 for that. We also have $5,000 for in-state expenses. And we also have the $7,200 for the mayor's allocation for the use of his vehicle. So how you vision the use of that $15,000 for out-of-state as well as the $5,000? And in terms of the mayor's allocation, are we going to allocate that money based on miles, based on travel, on a fee, or how? So,
Well,
3 things.
Right now, those are the things that's not my level of expertise that we work. That's why every decision that we make, we working in collaboration with, following the recommendations of our Director of Finance and Budget and Finance. The intent is, right now, all the meetings that we have had, we have invited from Congress, from our state reps, Congresswoman, as well as the senators to come to the city of Lawrence. There might be cases in which, right now, one of them would be Senator Markey, that we haven't had conversations with them. The mayor is busy, but so are our other legislators and both state as well as federal representatives. And it would require for our mayor to go out and meet not only with elected officials, but also with businesses that we're trying to attract. You know, you don't attract business sitting in the office. We have to go out, and part of the expenses funding that we are requesting is for those expenses. In terms of if it's going to be mileage, yes, I think if there would be from the mayor's office, let's say individuals that would go to a meeting, that obviously we have to use the standard millage rate, the mileage rate that we use, which is 54.5, I think. But there would be other expenses, like for instance parking, that is very expensive downtown. It's a huge expense. But we follow, the guidelines that are imposed by ordinance, as well as under the supervision of our Director of Finance. So we work very closely what we can and what we cannot do. But at least the funding is there for us to do our job.
Council Vice President.
Through you, Councilor President. Director Mike Yanello, I'm just going to ask,
Mr. Ranello, welcome back.
thank you for being here tonight and probably answer this question. I know that this is something that we haven't, or you haven't done or dealing in the past, like when the mayor is using his own personal vehicle, because this is basically what has been opened this box. So the money that we are trying to allocate it for his use, for his expenses, is going to be in a debit card. It's going to be a money that whenever he finishes his term, he's not going to be able to take that money with him.
Yeah, I believe this is, what you're talking about is instead of, a previous mayor used a city vehicle, this mayor uses his private vehicle and wants the city to keep their own vehicle. So he's just looking for, or we think it's reasonable to reimburse him or give him a monthly amount in lieu of mileage receipts and things like that. But I'll work with the mayor's office to see whether he wants to do a mileage reimbursement program or a monthly number to just encompass whatever he normally does.
But that is only going to happen when he's out of state, or this is going to be like a local mileage, then he's traveled from here so how did that gonna play out?
Well, it'll have to work with the mayor on that, so whatever he would like, but in general, previous mayors have had a city vehicle available to them to travel around the city, going to Boston. They go to Boston quite frequently, and anywhere else they go. But they had a city vehicle. So this mayor's using his personal vehicle. So again, I don't know what, we'll have to work out with the mayor. How does he want to get reimbursed on that? But it can be on a reimbursement basis, submit mileage, documentation of the mileage, and we'll reimburse them, or just in lieu of a vehicle, give him an allowance, a car allowance, if you will. That's normally how it's done.
A point of clarification is this is something that is gonna cost less to the city, that since he's using his personal vehicle, or this is something that we need to concern, just because the amount of money that we think we approving for someone who is doing something that no one has been done it before?
Well, I think I don't think we're talking big money here. I think maybe $500 or $600 a month for a car allowance is pretty reasonable for a chief executive. But that's all we would be out. We don't have to purchase a vehicle. We don't have to maintain a vehicle. It's far more, it's less costly to the employer if we can have the employee use their car.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much. Mr. Reinl, if you wouldn't mind, just stick around here for one more second. Actually, Councilor Cruz, have you had a chance to speak yet already on this matter? If you haven't, you have the floor, ma'am.
I have a question for Mr. Octavian. Mr. Octavian, do you think it will be possible that we get reports every month of the college and what they're going to be doing with the Lawrence Public Schools system? The consultant that are coming, I would like to see a list of what they're going to do first. And then I would like to see a report of what they are doing before, during, and after.
Yes, definitely. As a matter of fact, I think it was brought before, I think on the 21st, there's a meeting that we requested.
Let me help you out. So just so we're all clear on, thank you very much, Mr. Spanner. What we have is on the next Monday, we're going to have a committee on the whole meeting. The focus of the committee on the whole meeting are on 2, perhaps 3, but at least 2, time permitting, items. One is the canal and the Federal Energy Regulation Commission's license, FERC license with the canals. And the second thing is this, which is the Harvard consultant.
The presentation, the findings.
Presentation to go in, and the detail that I think you're about to go into is going to be right on point with the discussion that's going to be open to all of us to ask questions next Monday.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Reinl, thank you, Mr. Spanner. Councilor Payano, did you want to sharpen your pencil a little bit on that amendment?
Council President, I have a pen, but let's see what we can do. Director Iannello, just a quick question for you. We want to make sure that we have the numbers correct. So in the memo that was sent to us, it looks like the increases, that there are 2 increases related to the mayor's aid. One for $42,499.60, another for $37,500, which brings a total of $79,999.60. I want to make sure that number is correct.
I've got a document in front of me. So I don't have those numbers that you just referred to, but let me just see if because there were more than one memo, so I want to make sure. Okay, yeah, no, it's in the second memo.
This was the second memo.
January 11, okay.
Yes, it was dated February 15th.
Oh, let's see.
So I'll read it. So 2 salaries to the mayor's aide is requested to change to $75,000. At this moment, the request to change titles is not requested. Each aide is earning $43,750.20. Please change 2 salaries to $75,000 per year and 2 others to $65,000 per year. Remaining balance necessary to carry all current 4 administrative aides until the end of June 22nd is $42,499.60. Add one additional administrative aides to the mayor's office at cost until the end of the June 2022 of $37,500.
Okay, so what's the question?
So the question is, if we are, essentially, if we're removing that section from the request, would the total be $79,999.60?
I have, my number is, I have 185,200. If you remove the salaries from the original proposal from Mr. Bonet,
That's what I thought.
185,200.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but
Yep.
that is if we, the initial request was not for it in total. It was between whenever, February, whenever, till the end of June. So it wasn't, the administration didn't look like they were asking for the total amount. They were just asking to carry it between then and June. So it wouldn't be, that's what I thought initially, but then, when we did the math, I'm like, well, then they won't have enough money to do everything else that they're asking for.
well, the way I just did it was, there was an attachment if I get it in front of me, yeah, he had a page with the, excluding the salaries, he had a page with just the other than personal services requested. And he was looking, and it's this it's this schedule here, sideways. And in that, he had the change of what he was asking for in each of the line items. And he included the sub-object code, the account number that he was looking for a transfer. So he's looking for professional services of an additional amount of $150,000, in-state travel, $5,000, out-of-state travel, $15,000, printing and mailing, $4,500, office supplies, $2,500, other purchase of services, $1,000, and he had an allowance for the mayor, $7,200. And the total of that request came to $185,200. So that's the other than salaries, what the mayor was looking for. Well, I don't believe there was a total on this order, at least in my, hang on one second, I got another page here, it's page before. And the salary portion, originally the salary were, the request by the, just take this apart, bear with me one second, because I have it subtotaled here. It was salaries 180,300, other than personal salaries of 185,200. So the original total was a request for 365,500, or that was the request, I think, from February 4th. And so for tonight, a transfer from free cash of 185,200 to the various object codes that are delineated in Mr. Bonet's, well, my letter's dated February 4th.
Could I,
Just, Vayan. Mr. Vayan.
So I don't think exactly, but I think tabling the item to allow Director Iannello to give us an exact amount makes sense to me.
let me hear from Mr., if that's right, let me hear from Mr. Rodriguez, and then we may make a motion. Go ahead, Mr. Rodriguez.
What, I mean, through you, Mr. Chair and Mr. President. So what we're doing here is to approve everything except the salaries. So everything else would be 150,000, 15,000 for travel, 150,000 for project, 15,000 for travel, out of the state, 5,000 for travel within, and 7,200 for the mayor's allowances, plus the, I believe, 4,500, I'm talking top of my head, 4,500 for printing and mailing, and another 10. So if we just approve that.
Yeah, that totals
amount.
185,200.
285,000.
185,200.
185.
So let me ask Mr. Payano,
Yeah,
does that get
it's
to where
around
you
there.
want to get
So,
to?
Council President, that is fine. I think with all the memos that have been going around, there's a lot of different numbers, but I will go by, if the if this is the sheet Director Ionel is looking at, then let's go by that sheet. So the amendment would be to take out of free cash 185,200.
So let's reverse it around. So what's going to be what we're going to be approving this evening as opposed to what we're not going to be approving? We're approving 185 this evening.
That's
200.
That's very simple.
185, 200.
185. $185,200.
$200.
So, Mr. Payano, is that your motion?
Yes, it is.
Very
Second
good.
the motion.
It's already been seconded, it's the motion, so we're good. So is everybody clear on where we are? This is a vote to transfer 185,000. It's a lot of work, but I think we're going to get to the right place. Any other comments on this? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante,
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario,
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Vice President Reyes,
Yes.
Counselor Payano,
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counselor Levy,
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. So we're going back up to the top of the Ordinance and Intergovernmental Relations Committee reports. The first one out of the box now is document number 32619, handicap parking, 2123 Shawshene Road. Madam Chair.
Thank you, and through you, Councilor President, handicap parking at 2123 Shawshene Road. It has been sent out with the favorable recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor Payano. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy. Counselor Levy? Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz?
Yes.
Counselor Payano? Yes. Vice President Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Infante?
Yes.
President LaPlante?
Yes, motion carries. Document number 28020. Madam Chair.
280, it has been sent out with the favor recommendation, but at this point, I want to table document 28020, because the language that is missing, and I want to make sure that this is going to have the proper language, so motion to table.
We start off with this. There's a motion to approve, and then as soon as that's seconded, then I'll then look for a motion to table. Motion's been made to approve, and it's been properly seconded by Mr. Payano. Discussion? Hearing none. Looking for a motion to table. Discussion? Go ahead, Counselor.
Well,
You want me to clarify why I'm tabling this? Yeah. So the reason that I want to table this item is because this is the only house in this street that has that address. It's 1517. But we can allow only tenant parking only. So we have to we have to pass the language that is going to be the whole entire street, because there's only one house. So it's open up to another house on the end of the street that I believe but I didn't know it was another house. So my intention was only that one, and leave open that the neighbor can also park on the side, because it's a very busy street. So since that I'm trying to work with the neighbors and with the applicants, I would like to table just to make sure that everybody's gonna be at the same page, and not to come and, and speak on the public participation, that we are taking favoritisms to one and not the other, because this is something that we are gonna be creating something that everyone who wants to be having a space to park in front of the house, they're just going to request no parking in front of my house.
Very good. So now I'm looking
just very quick.
one more comment.
Yeah.
Sure, Counselor.
Just to make sure that, I'm pretty sure that the ordinance committee have looked into the memo that the city attorney sent in terms of allowing tenants only on one specific street. So basically, it's a public street, and if we allow only the tenants there, it will be in relation to allowing somebody or owning a public property, which is basically, that was all related to that. But I'm pretty sure that they're looking into that, and when that comes, I hope that we can see different language.
Yeah. So that is the reason why I want to table it. So motion to table.
Motion made and seconded by Counselor Payano. No discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion's approved. Document number 27221.
Handicap parking at 203 West Street. It has been sent out with the favorable recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Motion made and seconded by Counselor Payano. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Next document is document number 27421.
It's a handicap parking at 16 Boswell Street. It has been sent out with the favorable recommendation to order a public hearing, and I made that as a formal motion.
Motion made,
Second.
seconded by Counselor Payano. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Next document is document number 27521. Madam Chair.
It's a 15-minute parking at 334 Lawrence Street. It has been sent out with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Motion's been made and seconded by Counselor Rodriguez. Discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Next document is document number 27921.
It's a resident parking only on Chaplin Street. It has been sent out with the favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal, to order public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion made
Discussion.
and seconded by Counselor Rodriguez. Discussion, Counselor Payano.
Yes, just quick. Champlain Street,
Yeah.
Champlain Ave.
Wow. He definitely
and-
a city councilor at large.
And Council President, sorry. So
Payano?
a question I have for the proponents of the motion, I know that that street is like very small. I can understand why doing resident parking, but I also understand during the winter time, that entire area gets very, very tight as far as cars. So I'm just, I'm kind of interested in sort of hearing what the thought frame is, because I think that while it does make sense, at the same time, there could be unintended consequences that come with it.
No, by all means, during the winter, that Champlain Ave is not, I mean, if, as far as the blue light and the city is declared as an emergency, that street is no vehicles is allowed to park there. So the ordinance in regard to the winter ban affect that street and that take over any privileges or rights for parking. So they're not going to be allowed to park at all. So that's basically, that take over the winter ban.
If there's no further discussion? No further discussion, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Next document is document number 28021. Madam Chair.
280 is a four-way stop intersection of Margin and Melvin Street. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion, and thank you, Councilor Rodriguez, for doing that.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Rodriguez. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. The next document is document number 29221.
Is a handicap parking at 68 Bunker Hill Street. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I made that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion been made, seconded by Counselor Rodriguez. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Next document is document number 1322, Madam Chair.
It's a handicap parking at 32 Lawrence Street. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I made that as a formal motion.
Motion made and seconded by Counselor Piano. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. Next document is 1422, Madam Chair.
It's a 15-minute parking currently, 2-hour parking at Swasto Market at 50 Edmund Street. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Motion made,
Second.
seconded by Counselor Reyes. Discussion? Selena Reyes, discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Next document is document number 3922.
Is a modified resident permit parking where there is currently a resident permit parking on Merrimack Street, 2-hour parking limited except the resident sticker. It has been sent out with the favor of recommendation to order a public hearing, and I made that as a formal motion.
Motion made. Seconded by Counselor Infante. Discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Next document is document 5022.
It's request to add a position of Assistant Fire Chief. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation, but I'm looking to table the motion, to table the item.
The first motion is a motion as a favorable recommendation, and it has been properly seconded. Now, it's been properly seconded by Counselor Selena Reyes. Now I'm looking for a motion to table. Motion to table made by Counselor Piano. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Del Rosario. No discussions on a motion to table. Roll call, please.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion is tabled. Next document is document 5722. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Council President. National Grid to install 2 new manholes on Exit Street between Appleton Street and Jackson Street has been sent out with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing, and I made that as a formal motion.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor Payano. Discussion? Councilor Rodriguez?
Thank you, Mr. President. Is by any chance, did you guys discuss the time, hours for Exit Street construction? Can you
Yeah.
add a little more on that?
Madam
Through
Chair?
you. Yes, Councilor Rodriguez, we even offer it if they can do it at nighttime, only because it's a busy street, so we make that recommendation, which the applicants was trying to pass to the administration for, just to kind of take it in consideration, even though they know it's gonna be more expenses for them. Now it's gonna be during the day, but they are looking to take that recommendation because we also mentioned that I request that to them.
Well, councilors, I think that even though it's gonna be more expensive for them, it's not gonna be more expensive than people driving around Exit Street. So I think that for us to grant the permit to them, because that's what we're doing, we should put that as part of the motion, since Exit Street is downtown. And trust me, if they can save a penny, they will, meaning that they can cost in the city, and at the end of the day, they're gonna be saving dollars. So, councilors, I would like to probably make a friendly request to have it as part of the motion for construction to be on the third shift from 9 to 5 in the morning, 9 p.m. to 5 in the morning.
Yeah, they were open to that recommendation. I think, it's like you say, because I agree.
So do you take the friendly amendment?
Oh, yeah.
So after advice from the city clerk, the chair is saying that that's not an order at this time. However, after the public hearing, if you want to place that condition as part of the approval, that would be an order. So it wouldn't be an order right now prior to the public hearing being issued.
And the public hearing is gonna include time, scheduling on the public hearing? Because, I mean, if the public hearing include the scheduling, people might come over to speak on that.
Well, because right now we have, this thing came out of committee. I believe we're getting, if we haven't already, we're having the city attorney with the draft language. We're going to be providing this before us. This will be within the color, they call it in the rules of the debate, of the discussion. It's not like you're saying, I want to do something on another part of the city or something else. This would be within the rules, within that. So, this would be, we have a lot of amendments that we do afterwards, and this would certainly be in line of being in order after.
No, I
the
mean,
public hearing.
I understand what you're trying to do. I mean, I just want to make sure that if we include, on the public hearing, if we're including a scheduling, and then that's basically what we're doing, to ensure that the scheduling is appropriate. So if on the public hearing, the scheduling is not included, that's fine, we can order the public hearing like that. But if it does include timing to do the work, and I think that we should take a motion now to ensure that people knows at what time it's going to happen, the work is going to happen. But it's I don't know how the public hearing is going to be published. So is the public hearing including scheduling?
So the motion that's before is for, this is again dealing with the manhole covers on Essex Street. And you want there to be in the public domain knowledge that is going to happen during a certain time, and you want that to be codified in that. That's what you're looking to do, and right now it's not codified as doing that. Giving it another minute of thought, I think that could be in order, frankly, and thank you for the explanation, because it had me a chance to think about it. That certainly would be in order if the author wishes to accept it, or if you wish to make a motion. Okay, the amendment is now part of that, so just so we're clear on that, if you wouldn't mind writing that down for the clerk for her abilities, and I know that certain hours you want to have that on there. We can get that
9
to her.
PM to 5 AM.
So the work can be done or can't be done.
Work should be done within those hours.
9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
9 PM to 5 AM, third shift.
Okay.
Oh, okay, 9 to 5. So,
You have a question, or you're all set? Got it? Okay, what's your question, clerk?
Mr. President, and just for the other counselors, the utility public hearings do not go to the city attorney for review. The only language she writes is the language for our ordinances, for our laws. The utility language for public hearings comes out of the city clerk's office, but is essentially prepared by the utility, which states what they want to do. So I think that if we want to make reference to the timing, we could put something like, the current proposed timing for this work is between the hours of this and this. Do we know what that is? Do we, okay.
We just mentioned, so it's 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. to 5 a.m. is the time that they want the utilities to work.
Council
So
President.
9 p.m. to 5 a.m. is when this motion is looking for the utilities to work. I'm going to go in this order. Council Payano, Council Dela Cruz.
Council President, I think that the clerk was saying that we need to know what the time is listed now. So not just what we want it to be, what is it now?
It's from morning, I believe, 8 to 4. 8 to 4.
The chair would ask, why is that critical? Because if we decide, no matter what we say, we could be 24/7 at this point. If this council decides we want to have it from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., then that's what the council is requesting, unless I'm missing something.
And through you, Mr. President, at the end of the day, what we're doing, we actually granting a permit to the utility company. It is not their request only. It is something that we as a city said, this area is extremely congested, it's our downtown, and we don't want construction to happen during that time that they're proposing. If they want to take the permit, and then we said, the construction have to happen on third shift from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. It is not their right to come over and not considering what traffic means to the city. It is a privilege. And we're saying, look, we want the permit to go this time.
Council Dela Cruz?
Just to inform Councilor Rodriguez, we spoke about that in the ordinance meeting, and he was saying that visibility is very important for them, and the work needed, he explained it, that the work needed to be done during the light.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Council Rodriguez?
All the construction at the state level in the highways happen between 9 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. in the tunnels, outside of the tunnels, everywhere. That's an excuse. And trust me, by trade, I'm a civil engineer, and that's what I do on a daily basis. They can tell you everything they want to do, they want to say, but at the end of the day,
Hear that amendment?
that could happen all the time throughout the state.
All right, so we have, frankly, this is one of the more unusual times we're actually amending for a public hearing. We've amended this motion to now include between 9 and 5, and that was a motion that was accepted by the council vice president. If we're all clear, I'm going to call the question. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Levy,
Yes.
Council De La Cruz,
Yes.
Council Payano,
Yes.
Vice President Reyes,
Yes.
Council Rodriguez,
Yes.
Council Del Rosario,
Yes.
Council Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Council Infante,
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Just another reminder to please refrain by using any city councilor's name during the debate, just a reminder. The next is, we've done 6122, 6222, Next is withdrawals, and I think this may be,
We still have one,
which one did we miss?
62.
Sorry, my apologies, 6222.
Yeah. we
Madam
did.
Vice Chair, you have the floor.
Through you, Councilor President, 6222 is a resident parking from Florence Street to Acton Street. It has been sent out with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Motion made. Seconded, I think, by Mr. Piano, and discussion.
So I just want to be clear, is it Florence Street and Acton Street?
West Street from Florence is on the language that.
So what we should do is make sure there's a note that,
Yeah, the
it's
note
good.
is
Okay.
the language,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we're all clear on the motion? Despite the error on the draft, but the motion is that, as was, this is order of public hearing. Any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion is adopted. Now, looking for withdrawal, apparently this came out of the committee, that came out of which committee? Ordinance Committee, I believe. I believe this was a motion to place on file, not exactly withdrawals. Go ahead.
Motion
Madam
to
Vice
place on
President.
file. Document 27721, which is permit to parking time extension on Merrimack Street. It has been sent out with favorable recommendation to place on file.
There's a motion to place this document on file. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Pano. Discussion. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
President LaPlante.
How about we start with someone else?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Take your time, don't worry then. He likes to make people nervous, but take your time.
All right, Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. Are there any other tabled matters? Under new business. 6522 handicap parking deletion at 6668 Osgood Street, was placed by me. It's going to the ordinance committee. Council President LaPlante. Document 6622, handicap parking 29, is that Bohm Street? Did I say that correctly? Whose district is that? Which district is that? How do you pronounce that street name? Bohm? Bohm Street. That's going before the ordinance committee. 6721, handicap parking 68 Easton Street. That is going to the ordinance committee. Document 6922, Puerto Rican Parade on August 21st of this year from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Campagnone Common. That is going to the ordinance committee. Document number 7222, request to change ordinance 264270. The capital asset project manager is going before the ordinance committee. Now, we have two documents that were late files. Because they were late files, we will need a motion to accept them as new business, and then I can refer them to the proper committee.
What would it?
Motion to place on the city council agenda 7322.
So move. Second.
Made by the vice president, seconded by Councilor Infante. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counsel Rodriguez,
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Counsel Payano,
Yes.
Counsel De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counsel Levy. Counsel Levy,
Yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, is now new business. This will be going to the ordinance committee. I'm looking for a similar motion if we wish to have this before us to send to a committee.
Second.
On 7422, made by Councilor Payano, seconded by Vice President. This is an application for sales from fixed locations, Mercedes Home Appliances. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll. Oh, you want to call, okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
The item, if somebody can explain a little bit more, like, because this looks like in a store, or what is it?
At the ordinance committee, I don't know.
Gonna be in the street sale?
I mean,
Do you have any background,
that's,
Commissioner Del Rosario?
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't put it on the agenda, but through you, Council President, this business is established there. They sells air conditioner, washer and dryer. So I was gonna ask, what are they actually looking for? Because it's established, it's been there for the longest.
Exactly, like, I don't understand. It's on the corner of Broadway and, on Haverhill.
That's why they need to come in front of the committee, so if that is on your district,
That's
just
on my
make.
district, that's when I was looking.
Whose district? So you should be,
So this is, just some
I mean,
clarification,
why they
this is here because it's a, as it's been advised to me, this is a hawkers and peddlers license, which is governed by the city council. I sent everybody a memo about there's like 10 items that we all have licenses, and so and this is why that was sent by ISD over to us. So, for that reason. So, the motion here is to accept it on the agenda. It's been made, it's been seconded. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counsel Levy,
Yes.
Counsel De La Cruz,
Yes.
Counsel Payano,
Yes.
Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counsel Rodriguez,
Yes.
Counsel Del Rosario,
Yes.
Counsel Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Counsel Infante,
yes.
President LaPlante.
Yes, this is going to the ordinance committee. We have some, that's it for all new business. We are going, clerk, before we go, you wanted to take the floor for a reason. Oh, it's the census, right? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to remind all of the residents of Lawrence that the city clerk's office recently mailed the annual city census. I believe they arrived in homes beginning last Friday, Saturday, and some people got them yesterday. Hopefully, you all have them by now. If you haven't received a city census, I would ask that you please reach out to us at the City Clerk's Elections Division. Our number is 978-620-3290. If you have received your census, the law provides 10 days to return it, so we ask that you fill it out and get it back as quickly as you can. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a committee on the whole, as we already mentioned, next Monday. Besides that, let's go around the horn with committee assignments. Councilor Estela Reyes, Vice President.
The 22nd, 7 o'clock, Tuesday the 22nd.
Councilor Piano, both of your committees. Let's start with ordinance. I'm sorry, let's start with personnel.
So councilors, with personnel, we can either meet on the 21st before the 7 p.m. We do have an item that is currently in committee that we now have information for. So we can either meet the 21st at 6 p.m. Or we can meet on Wednesday, since the Budget and Finance Committee isn't going to be meeting at 7 p.m. So I would say is that the 21st, we do have a 7 p.m. Meeting. So we could actually, I mean, I don't know how long. We can do 6:30 on the 21st. But there is just FYI, there's a 7 p.m. meeting for the Committee of the Whole.
21st for me.
All right, so 21st, Council President, 6:30 p.m.
Very good. Budget Committee, there is nothing?
There's no new business.
Housing Committee? what day again? On the 23rd. 23rd, that's Wednesday. Public safety on the 23rd, 7 o'clock, okay?
We don't have any active business on housing, but I think that there is a few things there that should be at least discussed or we should do about it. So in housing on the 23rd at 6, does that work?
So 6 o'clock housing, 7 o'clock public safety on the 23rd. Okay. If there's no other business before the city council, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Councilor Piano, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Infante.
Yes.
Counselor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Vice President Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Levy. President
Yes.
LaPlante. President LaPlante.
Yes. We are adjourned. See everybody next week, next Monday.